Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report. I'm Rick Heath, with me Mark Rodgers, and we are at Louis Brookhaven in Norman. Great place, great food, great drinks. Watch your favorite sporting event, and there's Louis all over the metro area.
Oh, I love it. This is the home Louis.
Yeah, so, it is. This is. We are quite familiar with this. It's kind of like the home base here.
I think I've slept in here a couple times.
On this booth.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mark, the Thunder have reached the halfway point of the season, and it has been a remarkable season that most people didn't see coming.
No, I think they've exceeded expectations for sure. This last road trip, I was really impressed. It's the toughest road trip of the season. They've got one back east to Baltimore, Philly, and New York coming up later in the season. But to be able to split Minnesota, Clippers, Lakers, and then Utah, who's been playing really well, was a great accomplishment. And whatever bar you set for the team when it comes to wins and stretches, that seem to continue just to exceed them.
Well, you know, and the thing about it is that they keep being serious about basketball, and I mean that's an obvious statement. But my point is that they don't have any ups and downs. They're playing hard and smart every single night.
Yeah, I think too that some teams are starting to game plan for them. You saw that both in the Los Angeles games and the Clippers and the Lakers. Is you got to try to make it a little difficult on SGA to get to the rim, and then therefore what does Oklahoma City do to adjust? But they're going to see that as their record continues to be up at the top of the Western Conference, and it's a good thing.
It is a good thing, and as you said, we'll see. Mark Dagnall said that they will be better for those two losses against the Los Angeles teams, and then they went to Utah and won a very unusual contest at Minnesota. But yes, we're going to be having Brandon Rahbar from Daily Thunder join us next segment, and we'll ask him about the things that are happening with the Thunder. You're watching the Oklahoma Sports Report from Louis Brookhaven.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma-Ted. Alma-Ted uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites. Morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits, distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Basketball Edition. Joining us now, Brandon Rahbar of Daily Thunder. Brandon, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on here.
Well, I want to put you on the spot right off the bat. I mean, you're the newbie and all that.
Right.
Okay, so Mark, Brandon, everybody out there that are Thunder fans keep saying, is this the year the Thunder make a move for some of the big player? You know, they use some of their assets. Brandon, I'll put that to you first. Do the Thunder make a move at the trade deadline?
Yeah, I think that's the number one question Thunder fans have. I think anybody that covers the Thunder, whether it's DMs or texts or whatever, you're getting hit up all the time. Are the Thunder going to make a move? I don't think they'll make a move. You know, you see the big names like Lauri Markkanen, big name Mikal Bridges. I don't think they make a big move like that. I think they want to see, and we've seen with Sam Presti's pressers and with Mark Dagnall's pressers, they want to see what this team has, the young guys have. This is the first year that they're incorporating Chet Holmgren, huge piece of the puzzle. I think they want to go through a playoff series or two and see what weaknesses may be exposed, what they need to go out and get. That said, I do think that they'll make a small move. It's pretty obvious they need more size, more rebounding, another big to play with Chet, either coming off the bench or at the four next to him. A move like a Kelly Olynyk, something like that from the Utah Jazz. It's not going to take very many assets, but will shore up some weaknesses before you get to the playoffs.
Mark, your thoughts?
Well, I think, so, like Brandon, I think a lot of people ask about, well, let's not mess up the chemistry.
Show, you get hit all the time.
Not mess up the chemistry of the team.
Yeah.
But I think that there's subtle ways to do that, and I totally agree with what Brandon says. I think that Sam Presti needs to find a guy that, hey, it's a veteran that comes in, will be a good influence on the team, but he might be fine sitting and not playing in games. And so they clearly need rebounding and size. I think right now 27th in the NBA, or maybe 28th in rebounding. They're not going to win many playoff series if that weakness kind of going into the postseason. So if they can find the right veteran to come in and be willing to let some of the younger players play during the regular season, and then maybe ramp up the role as you get closer to the playoffs, I think that's the one move they make. But I agree. I don't think that they're going to bring in a star. Nobody's going to deal with Oklahoma City right now because they've got so many assets. I mean, whoever Oklahoma City acquires, they're going to have to give up a bunch of picks because they know they've got them.
Every GM's going to go, okay, you want somebody? Three first rounders.
A little easier to deal in the offseason, I think, than it would be during the and you know, again, playing with house money right now, I don't think that they expect to be competing for an NBA championship this season. But like I've been harping all along, this team is a contender. I don't know if it's not say it's favored to win a championship, Western Conference or NBA, but it's a contender for sure.
Well, you know, I'm tending to believe what Sam Presti says. He says we're going to, like you said, Brett, we're going to see what we have before we make any moves. Now, does that mean, like you said, an added piece, somebody? I've got a big in mind that would be easy to add in and wouldn't mind sitting around, and he knows the system, is Mike Muscala.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he's an excess piece out there that was thrown into a trade this last week or so. And, you know, somebody like that, Kelly Olynyk, I think Kelly Olynyk will cost a little bit more. Muscala, I mean, you know what, give him a couple of second rounders and they'll be gladly to take him off your hands.
I think rebound, I don't know if Muscala can help rebounding very much, but I think that you also can't get a big that's going to clog up the lane in his minutes when he gets in there. So I think that you've got to play 5 out and have a guy that's versatile enough that can grab some rebounds. And I know that Matt Ravis mentioned this on our show. Herb Jones is kind of available for New Orleans. I don't know, you know, again, Oklahoma City can afford to just rent a guy for the rest of the season with all the assets that they've got, but he could be a rebounder, a 3-and-D type guy that could be really, really good, I think, on this team.
Well, Kelly Olynyk, you mentioned, I mean, he does some of those things for the Jazz.
Right. Yeah, and the Jazz have exceeded expectations too, and I think that that's why everybody was looking at Lauri Markkanen, because he was a young star. But this Jazz team, they may be in the play-in themselves, but they could afford to give up Olynyk. He's on an expiring deal. He's a part of the rotation, but I don't think it's a part of their plans going forward, so they could afford to give up a guy like that. I agree with Mark. I think that they're looking at guys, when you look at this team, they want 5 out. So any big that they bring in, going to have to be able to shoot. Yes, get some rebounds, play some defense, add some size, but absolutely be able to shoot, high IQ. Like the Thunder have a type. And they're going to go and get a type like that.
Well, and I agree. And like I think, Mark, you said it best. They want somebody that fits in with what they're doing, and not just anybody's going to do it. So they may sit tight. They may sit and go, look, we don't need to add anything right now. you know, maybe we find somebody in the buyout market later on that they just pick up and see if it fits.
Well, one thing that Sam Presti, whether they're active in acquiring a player or not, he is a brilliant GM, so he's going to be managing these picks. And there's so many right now, he's going to have to try to utilize other teams that might want to make a deal to help throw in some incentive there and kind of push these picks down the road a little bit, because they've got so many of them in a short window of time. So I think that he is certainly exploring the trading market. It just may not be for a player at this time.
Yeah, and they were mentioned this week in the Kyle Lowry. I mean, you know, they sent Miami sent a first-round pick to Charlotte, and that pick had implications of OKC on it because Miami owes OKC a first rounder. So those are the kind of things, you're right, Mark. Those are the kind of things that Sam Presti, balls are just juggling. I can't even imagine how many phone calls Sam Presti gets and completes in a day. You know, I mean, I bet it doesn't stop until whenever he calls it quits for the day, but everybody is calling Sam Presti because he controls every move on the board with all of his picks.
Yeah. Definitely for the Thunder.
Hey, that's good. Hey, we'll be back with more on the Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Edition right after this. Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today. And welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Edition. Rick Heath, Mark Rodgers, and Brandon Rahbar from Daily Thunder. Brandon, you get a lot of feedback on a daily basis from the people out there. What are they talking about the players right now? I mean, the starting five has been pretty solid. The bench has been pretty solid. But what are the people out there talking about for this team?
Yeah, I think obviously Chet Holmgren has been a hot talking point for good reason. I mean, there's a good chance he could upset Victor Wembanyama for Rookie of the Year, so he's a hot talking point. Shea, what he's doing, as a possible MVP candidate. Well, he is an MVP candidate, possible MVP winner. But really, the guy lately that's been the hot talking point has been Jalen Williams. We saw last year he was the Rookie of the Year runner-up. This year he's taken a leap, and especially since the calendar, went over to 2024, what he's been doing has been nuts. He's leading the NBA in scoring in the fourth quarter in 2024. His true shooting percentage, he's such an efficient shooter. He's shooting 46% from three. I just saw today of all the players who've taken a certain amount of attempts in clutch situations, he's leading the entire NBA. So him taking the leap and giving the Thunder a true big three, like there's a lot of ancillary players, a lot of complementary players like Lou Dort, Josh Giddey, Isaiah Joe, again, has been great. Cason Wallace, I think, has exceeded expectations as a rookie. But Jalen Williams taking that leap and making SGA, Chet, and J-Dub a true big three, all of them 25 or younger, is what I think has taken this team to the next level and what have people excited.
Mark, your take on the Thunder players and the combination of starters and bench?
Well, I can't love J-Dub enough. A lot of teams in the NBA have, like, for example, the Celtics. They have a good duo in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, but they're essentially the same player. And there's not a lot of great defense from either one of those guys. But J-Dub can do anything and everything. And Brandon mentioned his shooting stats. He's on just a complete heater here lately. But field goal percentage, which is just 2-point and 3-point combined, he's 18th in the NBA. SGA 17. Really, the rest of those players that are above them are centers, or Giannis, if you consider him a forward. And so this is what makes Oklahoma City so great, is they take good shots. And J-Dub is a great team player. So he facilitates offense through others. He can take over in the fourth quarter, like Brandon mentioned.
That's
and he's
what
a really good on-ball defender that he's super strong. So I think he is massively underrated by the people in the league, not to be more publicized, and to me, he's an all-star right now.
Well, the one thing you pointed out, Mark, is his fourth quarter. You mentioned it too, Brandon. The fourth quarter, what he does, and he becomes, and Mark has recognized that he sets SGA out to start the fourth quarter and gives the ball to J-Dub and says, okay, run the show. And J-Dub has done more than his share running that show. His fourth quarter stats are second or third in the entire NBA in his production and his shooting and his rebounding and all of that. So, well taken, guys. Let's talk about some of the other guys. Lou Dort. I thought Mark Dagnall said it best. He said, okay, so Lou Dort does the defensive work. He said, it's like you're coming through a door, and every time you come through a door, somebody bops you. He said, that's it. He does that over and over and over because he's running into so many screens that, it's amazing that his physicality maintains through all the games. It's crazy.
Yeah, Lou Dort. What's different about Lou Dort than past Thunder defensive specialists like Andre Robertson and Thabo Sefolosha is that this year, not only is he taking on the best offensive assignment every single game, and he'll guard point guards all the way to power forwards. It's wild the range of players that he'll defend. But his offense has taken another level this season, as I think has stood out to me most about Lou Dort. Like, not only does he bring it on the defensive side every night, but I think all Thunder fans are like, if he just shot a little bit better from three-point range, and if he would just finish a little bit better at the rim. Well, he's done both of those things this year. He vowed in his post-season presser and his preseason presser that he was going to take smarter shots. He said he watched a lot of film, and he wanted to be more efficient, and he's done it. He's finishing so much better at the rim. His efficiency has gone up, and he's shooting 42.5% from three this season on high volume. So not only is he an asset defensively, obviously, but he's helping out the offense as well this season too.
Mark, your thoughts?
It's up 8% over his career, 3-point shooting percentage. And yeah, last year, I think when he signed a deal, I think he saw that. as the ability to shoot more, and so his shot discipline is off the charts good. It's been the best of his career.
Yeah, and I think it's addition by subtraction. What I mean by that, he's added to his overall game by shooting less.
Yeah.
You know, and making them count, and I like that about it. Hey, we are at Louis Brookhaven in Norman. Mark Rodgers, Brandon Rahbar from Daily Thunder, and Rick Heath. We'll be right back with more from Louis Brookhaven. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report Thunder Edition. Rick Heath, Mark Rodgers, and Brandon Rahbar from Daily Thunder. Gentlemen, the Thunder sitting with a better record than anybody ever thought. But the question now that I have is, how do they keep that up? I mean, it's hard to keep that momentum, something we didn't see, but it's going into the doldrums of mid-season. Mark, your thoughts. How do the Thunder keep that up?
Well, they've got a lot of roster competition for guys that want to get out there and play.
That's a good point.
It's a young team that should be able to handle the rigors of the NBA schedule much better than other teams. I mean, the Clippers kind of have the pedal to the floor, and I'm impressed with them. I think they're going to be really good, but they've got a lot of older players that require some rest. But again, they're having to play this schedule just like the young Thunder are. So I don't know, man. The system is great. The team seems to play with a lot of chemistry and joy. So until you brought it up, I hadn't worried about it. It's maybe something I should worry about, Rick. I don't know.
No, not to worry. I just want to plan for it. Okay, I have a hotline. I have a hotline to Mark, and I want to be able.
Games that this year we didn't expect them to. They were underdogs, so they're going to drop some along the way. But I think that they're going to be fine, and I do think that they have a really good chance. I think top 4 is fair for sure now as an expectation. I think they have a chance to compete for the top spot.
Brandon?
Yeah, I think Mark brings up a great point about roster like, this team is so deep that when guys like Trey Mann get to play games, like we've seen him play really well because he wants to perform well, because those minutes are valuable. I think the other thing is we've seen the players talk about, we've seen Mark Daigneault talk about it a lot. They take a 0-0 mindset, and they take every game seriously, like whether it's Portland or whether it's the Lakers. They're taking that game seriously. And so that's why we haven't seen yet, to this point, over halfway through the season, them put up a dud against a bad team, a lottery team. They usually blow those teams out because they take them seriously. And I think that'll help kind of ride some of these. You know, a lot of times you see these upper teams that they'll take a night off. We haven't seen that yet with this Thunder team.
Well, you know, and you expect that to happen. I mean, it's a long season. They'll have games like that. Now, we've been surprised that they haven't had that, that kind of a letdown. It will come, I think. But, like Mark, you said, with that much roster competition, say Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is playing really, really hard, but he's also starting to lose a little bit because of the wall. Okay, that's kind of the, coming out of college, you played 30, 40 games. He's already eclipsed that now. So is Chet going to need that backup time from Jay Will or Kenrich or whatever to kind of keep him fresh?
It's the one position that the Thunder really don't have a lot of roster depth for. So, Jane can come in and play it stretches at that position, but he's playing out of position. So, I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, and maybe that's something that they address at the trade deadline if they feel like they need to give him some situational rest. But as far as the other rotation pieces go, like, Brandon mentioned Trey Mann. I mean, I think Trey Mann's an NBA player that can really score, but he doesn't have a role on this Thunder. He's a piece that was really be the SGA piece on another team. It doesn't really fit with a volume scorer and shooter. So I think that they'll get minutes for a lot of guys down the stretch if they get some concerns over fatigue.
But and that's kind of the thing right now is Mark Daigneault being he's not a rookie coach, but he's a young coach and he's learning along with the players. So I think that's going to be as much of a situation moving forward. How does he adjust his roster? How does he adjust his playing time? I mean, he's been known to sit guys for a whole game and not play them at all, and then play guys like Lindy Waters for 22 minutes. Just out of the blue, as far as us fans look at it. So to me, that's another point, Brandon, that Mark Daigneault juggling his roster is probably just as important as who he plays and when he plays them.
Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch this Thunder team in the rotations because, Scotty Brooks and Billy Donovan, you kind of set your watch by when they were coming in, when they were coming out, who was playing each night, who wasn't playing. But with this team, you just don't know. Like Davis Bertans will randomly get into a game and play 12 minutes, and then we won't see him again
12
for another
minutes,
10.
8 shots.
Right, yeah. He's getting the shots up. If he's going in,
when
he's
he
getting the
comes
shots
in,
up.
he's going to fire it. So, hey, that's going to do it for this week's show. I want to thank Brandon Rahbar from the Daily Thunder, Mark Rodgers. I'm Rick Heath. We'll see you next time on the Oklahoma Sports Report.